Hello and welcome back to A Shot of Weeb, my friends. I didn't realize it was my time to intro, so I don't have one. Let's go.
Gamer, let's go.
I'm back as always. I'm the Epic Wob here with my co-host,
The Seaweed Ambassador.
and this week was my choice, wasn't it? Yes, it was.
It was your choice, yep.
And after the suffering that Gago Garashi brought me, I wanted to get around to something nice and dopey and fun that I'd wanted to get around to for a long time. We watched the first season and the OVA, the first OVA, first OVA and first season. Yes,
Uh-huh, you got
of
it right.
Data Live.
Yeah, let's go, dude.
Let's
It's a
go.
very nice palate cleanser from last week.
Definitely. Now, so that it's said, we're going to be changing up the format a little bit. We're experimenting with formats for a little bit. We're doing kind of like a season 0 of Shadow Weeb. While we figure out exactly how we're going about this, and so we're gonna be workshopping an idea here, where instead of just talking through the show as we have been, we're going to like hardcore blaze through the story of the show.
Yes.
And then
Speedrun.
round table various points for the rest of the episode. And we'll see how that goes. And if it doesn't work, we'll go back.
Yeah, we're trying things out. It's season 0. We're basically like once season 1 hits, that production quality is going through the roof.
Through the roof. That's when we're going to pretend we know what we're doing.
Yeah, pretend, fake it till you make it.
So, why don't you start us off with the first bit of the plot lightning round. I'll interject when I feel like it. I don't really know how. Let's just bounce this back and forth. Let's just blaze through.
Okay,
Let's go.
for
Start.
sure.
Start.
Okay, so Day Live, starts with Shiro, right? That's his name, and he
Shido.
Shido,
Shido.
yeah, Shido, and he
Shido
is,
from Persona 5.
no, he is a just kind of your average dude. You know, he's got a little sister. Little sister wakes him up from bed. She's adorable.
She drop kicks him in the gut.
She's adorable, like I said. Yeah. So you're gonna hear that word a lot from me today. Adorable.
There was a lot of adorable in the show. There was also a lot of, people fighting and dying, but that's beside the point.
Adorable. Um, so she wakes him up, and it's just like a normal, normal family, except there's no parents. It's just him and his sister, and
It's a Disney movie. There's no such thing as parents.
right, exactly. And then they head off to school after eating breakfast,
Yes.
and they promise to get dinner or lunch or something at a diner. He promises her that because that's what she wanted, like the special kids plate.
Yes, and they are going to meet at this diner even if it's the end of the world.
Right after school, and that if that's not foreshadowing, I don't know what what is.
I've never heard of
because-
foreshadowing.
So basically, the whole premise of the show, which maybe we should start with, if you haven't seen it, the show it's about like, so like there's these, what are they called, like spatial distortions? Is that what they're called?
Spatial quakes is what my
Spatial
sub
quakes.
called them.
That's what they were, yeah. And basically, like these spirits is what they were called. They would appear and like just wreak havoc, and that's what they're referring to by like, even if this happens, we're still gonna meet here. And then they go to school, and they get to school, and then a spatial quake happens.
Yes, and the structures go like full StarCraft Terran and just like pull underground, and it's cool.
Okay, yeah, sure.
You haven't play StarCraft.
No,
buildings.
I
buildings.
play good games.
Buildings. Okay. Freaking Zoomer.
Let's go, dude.
The buildings just like suck underground, and I got the same vibe whenever the sirens went off and everything just like crawled underground, and I'm just like, oh, that's cool. I dig this aesthetic.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, it was super dope.
So the Quake sirens are going off, and Shido is like, my adorable little sister is in danger because she's stupid and will just go to the diner. And so he runs off to the diner, and the quake happens, and I just dropped my notes, and the wind carried them halfway across the room.
Oh, very nice. It was a good decision to keep that that fan next to the mic. Let's go, dude.
So he runs to the diner, and we find out that earthquakes means there's a girl.
Yes. Yeah, there's a girl, a very pretty girl, in the middle of this spatial quake.
With an inconvenient purple dress that I don't know how she fights in. And she's like, "You're coming to kill me." And he's like, "What?" And she's like, "You must die."
Okay, you mentioned that dress, but like, she had very long hair too. That I feel like that would be even more of a.
As someone with long hair myself, you gotta tie that back.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, we both have long hair.
You don't have that long a hair.
Mine is just curly. It's pretty long.
I have a ponytail halfway down my back, my guy.
I didn't say it was as long as yours, but if mine is if my hair is straight, then it's almost that long. It's like a third of the way down my back.
Jeez, dude.
Yeah, let's go, dude. Gamer, curly hair.
So
for
anyway,
life, bro.
There's a girl in the earthquake who does battle gear, but it's not good for battle. And she has a sword.
Yeah, very big sword. And he's like, "Whoa, you're pretty." And
she's like, "What? Die!" But then flying airplane girls.
the strike witches come in. And
What were they called? Is the freaking SCVs? No, ASTs.
Sure.
I have it written down. It's ASTs. It's not SCVs.
No, it's
Definitely not.
Definitely not. That's a sports utility vehicle.
Not SUV, SCV. It's more StarCraft stuff. Guess what I've been playing all day today?
Oh god. And so they come in and they fight her, and then she disappears, I believe.
Yes, and they're just like lost because
and,
they could just like teleport by accident.
right. And then Shiro gets transported into Ratatoska ship. And he's like, "What, little sister? You're the commander? What? How can my little sister be this commander?"
And then she's just like, "You're an idiot. Go train."
Yep. And so he trains by playing a dating sim.
By playing a dating sim, which means I'm already a professional. Clearly, by that metric.
Do you even play VNs?
I do on occasion. I haven't gotten around to any recently, but yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. Okay, cool.
I do on occasion. Does StarCraft count as a virtual novel?
No. It's also visual novel, not virtual novel.
I said visual, virtual, they're the same thing.
Nani desu ka?
I played Honey Pop. Does that count?
I mean, I played that too. I put 13 hours into that game.
I don't know how many hours I put into it, but I didn't finish it.
I did.
Anyway.
Yeah, so
that's
so
a good choice.
He has to play the dating sim, and once he plays that, because he has to do that because that's the only way to keep, like, in order to like save the spirits, you have to get their happiness up and then take them on dates and like
because otherwise their powers. Yeah, because otherwise the SCVs or whatever, I don't care, are gonna kill them.
Yeah. So he does that, and he meets the purple girl. Oh, good night. Okay, the purple girl shows up again. He goes to her, and she's like, "What do you want? Like, why are you here?" And then 3 choices pop up on the screen in the ship of the Ratatosker, and they all vote.
And they have a professional crew of experienced lovers.
Yes. And they all vote, and all of those people vote on the choice, which choice to choose. And it's literally a dating sim.
Yeah, and they nearly get him killed, of course, because they suck at it.
And then I think they kind of chose the best choice for like what they thought it would be, but they didn't know who they hadn't had enough time with this girl to know like what choice would work best. They were going based on their knowledge of like dating sims.
Yeah, but they also like very frequently go for pretty bad choices. Like most of the time, Shido does like best when he goes off script and just ignores them.
Okay, but only Kanazumi or Kanazuki,
Which one's Kanazuki?
the
I
second
don't
in
remember.
command, long blonde hair.
Oh, he doesn't count. He just wants to get in Kotori's pants. That's beside the point.
Yeah, Kotori is the little sister, by the way.
Yeah, Kotori's the little sister. Blonde man
He's a
is the
lolicon.
mega simp.
Yeah, he's a lolicon.
He's a mega simp.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. And so then he kind of goes off script, and then she kind of starts falling for him. She's like, well, and he's like, so what's your name? And she's like, I don't have a name. And they give her some, and he gives her some. They give her some weird name.
I think by context, it was supposed to be some sort of like old.
Yeah, it was
name?
like an old sounding name. And,
But I don't know what old sounding names are Japanese. I don't know.
No.
Named her freaking Karen or something.
Yeah, no, it was yeah. I mean, basically, and then she's like, that's not a very good name. And then eventually he comes and he's like, Toka, your name's Toka, and it was because of the date, the day that it was. Because I don't.
But she
remember.
doesn't catch on, so it's all good.
Yeah, it's all good. And but the thing that I just want to point this out while we're talking about it is that the show like puts a note like we apologize to everybody that has this name. This is not a statement from the studio. This is just from the characters within the show. They had that like on screen as like a ticker, and
Like a full disclaimer.
yeah, it was great. I loved that so much.
I mean, how many? If this is like an old person name, how many of them are watching Data Live?
I mean, yeah, that's true. This is a very, very new age show. Because
I mean, when was this? This was 2013. I think it
2014.
said.
No, 2013.
No,
It's 2013. It's 2013. The OVA was 2014,
Yeah. On Analyst, it has a weighted score of 69.
and the mean score is also 69.
Nice.
Gamer, let's go, dude. That's the sex
Let's
number. So then eventually like she falls for him and he's like, hey, let's go on a date. And she's like, cool. And then this white-haired girl from the SUV team comes in and is like, not my man's, and starts to attack the spirit. And
Yeah, because she goes to school with him and is like super possessive because he had to do training. He had to do training, so he hit on her, and she's just like, okay, you're my boyfriend now. You can't get away from me.
yeah, and her name is Origami, and she is a main character.
And she's great.
We'll get to that. So then she, then she and Toka start to battle it out, and it looks like she's killed Toka, and so then Shido's all depressed and stuff. He's like, "Oh no, why did you kill her?" And then at the end of, I think it's at the end of that the second episode, he's like, "Hey," or she like appears and is like, "Hey, you promised we'd go on a date, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, I did." She's like, "Okay, what's a date?" And then episode 3 is their date.
Yeah, and they go on a date and they get a bunch of food, and every time she eats literally anything, she's like, this tastes amazing. It must be a date. And they're just like, no.
She's like, "There's more dates over there. Let's go get them." Because
That's
she
not
doesn't
how
know,
this works.
So she doesn't know anything about like the human world at all.
Yeah, and they go on a date and they do things, and like the Reditusk crew like guides them through it, and it's like super contrived, but because she's not used to Earth, they like completely get away with it.
Yep.
Because they're like, you happen to be our 1,000th customer. All the food is free.
Yeah, they like have these places set up, like these towns where they can just like put on a festival like immediately. They like, just have like a huge task force. From what I like, that's the best way I would describe it, I think.
Yeah, they leave from that. They like magically win tickets to a water park, and Shido nopes out of that, and they go to an arcade.
Yeah. No, wait, no, it wasn't the water park.
It wasn't a water park, but it was some sort of thing. They won tickets to a thing, and he's like, lol, nope.
Yeah, it was a love hotel.
Oh. I didn't catch that. That's
Yeah,
great.
it's a love hotel. And they
nope
called
out
it
of it, and they go to an
called it
arcade.
like a theme park though.
Oh, that would be why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then, yeah, they go to the arcade. She gets a stuffed loaf of bread. That's what she wins. Because that's what she
because
wants.
she really likes bread. We've been over this.
Yeah, she really likes food, just like in general.
Especially bread. Bread was the first date she had.
Yeah, that's true. And so then they win that, and then they go out to this like place where you can like overlook on the city, and it's like real romantic. It's like
Yeah.
sunset. And then Origami shows up and is like, "Hey, give me permission to shoot this bitch."
And they deliberate over it while they're talking, and then Origami takes a shot, and Shido's like, "Oh no!"
Before she takes the shot, though, like Toka is pretty much like she's not a spirit. Basically, she's basically a human. Like she's still a spirit technically, but she's like all of her power has been suppressed because of what Shido has done on the date.
I don't think it's been suppressed quite yet, but it was about to be. Like they were like right on the verge of it.
Right. It was like essentially like
how do they steal power, bud?
they kiss.
But only when her happiness meter is at maximum.
That's true. The happiness meter has to be a maximum,
Or it don't count.
Yep. And so then Origami gets permission from her higher ups to take the shot. She takes the shot. Shido pushes Toka out of the way, and he gets hit, and it takes out like half of his torso.
To which Toka goes like berserk because they had this whole she just had like this whole discussion about like, am I allowed to exist in the human world? And he's like, yeah, you're chill, and then dies.
And then she's like, well, but what if nobody else accepts me? And he's like, well, then I'll accept you for all of them. I'll accept you that much. And then that's when he gets shot and dies. And so then she like goes berserk because she's afraid that nobody else is going to accept her.
And Origami is like shocked because
she's like traumatized basically because she just shot the person that she likes and killed him. Mm-hmm. And so then he's laying in a pool of blood, like a lot of blood. And Toka reverts back to her full spirit self, gets like all of her power, like basically at once, I think. It was kind
Meanwhile,
of
Shido's sister is just kind of like, lol, he dead.
Yeah. And then and Kotori's also like, oh no, we have to do something about Toka.
No, but that's who I was talking about.
I know, yeah, but he was like, lol, he's dead, but we also need to do something about Toka.
Yeah, so they like teleport him back or whatever.
No. No, she's trying to figure out she's just kind of in there, like, kind of like, not really doing much at that point. They don't teleport him back.
Well, no, I think they do because he yeets out of the sky right after. We'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that because that happens. I think that might happen a little bit later.
That's like the next step.
Yeah. Origami is like laying on the ground, like in already PTSD. It's not PTSD. That's not the right word. But like
pure despair.
Yeah, she had Zetsubo is the word.
Freaking Monokuma is hiding behind a tree nearby.
Yeah, and so she like can't react, and Toka's about to hit her with this giant sword because all of her power's there. And then we cut back to Shido, and Shido starts where his wound is. It starts to like glow, and it's like starting to repair itself. And then he wakes up.
Yes.
And maybe they teleport him back real quick, and then like launch him. That might be.
Yeah, because the next shot is him like falling out of the sky, and not Kotaro. Toka is just like, what? And yeets back to go catch him.
Yes.
And they're like falling.
And that's when they kiss.
Yes.
Seal the power.
No.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
not until after she lands.
Thought they kissed. No, they kissed before because.
Wait, if they kiss in the air, how do they not just die? How do they get back to the ground?
Because her sword was about to like explode and cause another spatial quake or whatever.
Because her sword was about to bust a nut.
If he didn't heal it or seal it right then, they would have died and like it would have exploded everything around them. And so he had to seal them in the air. Then her power like slowly decreased and like gently put them on the ground.
Yeah, enough that they like floated down, and then Origami just kind of nopes out of there.
Yeah, because she's like just seen somebody die and come back to life.
Okay, we need to speed up. We're falling
That's
behind.
the first 3 episodes. We're already like a fourth of the way through the show.
We're like a fourth of the way through, but we're halfway through our time.
Oh yeah, you're right. We were supposed to do this in 20 to 30 minutes. Okay. All right, so
20 minutes.
The next arc is the Rain Girl. The Rain Girl. Her name is Yoshino. Yoshino's adorable. She's a little sister character. She has this puppet. The puppet.
Yeah, she doesn't talk. Yoshinon, the puppet, does.
And she talks she says a few words
later.
Yoshino is the one who really talks. But anyway, she loses the puppet, and then she goes berserk, and then like Shido finds the puppet, gets it back to her. I don't know, her arc didn't have like a lot to it. I don't think.
Yeah, no, it was just a shy girl, and she's like, my puppet is gone, and so he sneaks into Origami's apartment. We might talk about that later. Sneaks into Origami's apartment to get Yoshino and takes it back to Yoshino.
Yes.
While she's under attack.
And then she reverts back to normal. Does he have to kiss her?
He does,
okay,
yes, except
remember.
he... Yeah, because it was like when he was like dying, because he didn't have healing abilities or whatever for some reason. Because there was like an anti-magic field or whatever,
and he
walks through the blizzard and it nearly kills him.
That's right.
And he just like flops on the ground. Yeah, because Yoshino, her like stand is she summons this big snow rabbit that like her puppet turns into the rabbit.
Yeah, and it does, and her power is ice. Whereas like Toka's is just a sword, hers is ice.
It's not stands. What's it called? It's an angel.
Yeah, angels. Yeah, they all have angels.
Yeah, because Toka's was Sandalphon. It's this big sword.
Yeah. And Yoshino's was Yoshinon. I don't remember the actual name of it. It doesn't really matter.
Big rabbit.
Yeah, and that's basically like the gist of that arc. Is the next arc, is that Kurumi?
I mean, there's some like side episodes between Then and Kurumi appearing, and I would like to talk about them later because one of my favorite episodes is in that like in between period.
Okay, yeah. So it's kind of like, I mean, like it's good episodes. It's not like it doesn't like it slightly progresses the plot, but not like the next arc is Kurumi's arc.
Yeah, because Kurumi is like the second half of the show.
Kind of. The last like 3 episodes are about Kotori.
I mean, Kurumi appears in 7.
Yeah, there's 12 episodes to this show.
12 in an OVA, but the OVA doesn't count.
Right, we're not counting the OVA in the main runtime. We'll talk about the OVA.
We'll talk about the OVA. By golly, we'll talk about the OVA.
Yeah, but so Kurumi's arc, Kurumi shows up, she's like a new transfer student, and she immediately is like, hey, I'm a spirit. And Shido's like, oh, what?
And everyone's like falling for her because she's like, I guess, supposed to be attractive.
She's so hot.
Her like non-battle form is kind of off-putting to me, so I don't get what everyone's on about, but that's a preference.
Wait, what? Okay, we're gonna get into that later. We gotta go forward with the plot. Oh man.
No, her battle form is great. But her like quote-unquote human form is just like,
I prefer the human form.
I don't really get it.
I prefer the human form. We're gonna get into that later.
How does she see?
We'll get into that. We'll get into that, dog. We'll get into that. Anyways,
so Kurumi appears.
Yeah, she shows up, and then she does say, I'm a spirit. And then Shido's like, okay, cool, well, I'll have to, like, kiss you then. And she's like, that's what I wanted.
She says, show me around the school, please. And he's like, show me your underwear. And she's like, okay.
Yeah, she's like, oh, ho, ho, ho. Ada, ada, ada. And then he's like, wait, no, that was one of the choices. I didn't actually mean that. And I don't remember what he actually asks her.
Oh, and this is when the little sister comes back. This is when Mana comes back.
Oh, that's a new... Yeah. Oh, that's right. Mana showed up before this.
Because they come up at the same time.
Yeah, so Mana is like Shido's blood sister.
Yeah, so
Shido was adopted into the Itsuka household.
Yeah, so Shida has an adopted little sister, but then plot twist, there's a real little sister, and she shows up, and they have a cat fight, and it's really weird.
It's really weird, yeah.
They try to assert dominance over their brother. It was...
Yeah. Well, it's a harem show.
I mean, yes, but...
There's no buts. That's what's bound to happen. Let's be real. Come on.
Oh, man. And Mana knows Origami because they're part of the SCVs.
Yeah, they're members together.
She's a transfer student into the SCVs.
Yeah, basically.
Or SCV.
And so
what actually is it? It's not SCV, it's not ACT, it's AST.
AST. Okay.
AAST.
So she's in there. That's all you really need to know for that. Then for Kurumi, like she's apparently killed Kurumi before.
Yeah, and Kurumi has killed like thousands of people because that's her hobby.
Yeah. And we see that because like some guys come over to hit on her, and she's like, "Oh, you wanna do that? All right, cool, I'm down." And they're all like, dude, dude, dude. She
We're
says she's
so
down.
lucky.
Oh yeah, dude, dude. And then she's like, okay, just yeah, let's go this way. And then they walk into an alleyway, and she just there's no like physical remains left. It's just
No, because she
bloodstain.
like eats them or sucks them into the shadow
yeah.
realm. One of the two.
Yeah, I think she eats them based on the subtitles.
I
to
think she
gain their
steals like all
power.
their time, which makes them disappear.
Yeah.
Because Kurumi has time powers. Spoilers.
Yeah, she has time powers. We're really gonna call spoilers here.
Yeah, spoilers, I guess, for a show where we talk about the plot of a show.
Yeah, we're doing a speed run. Well, we got to speed up.
Speed run.
All right, and so yeah, she has time powers, and basically she can come back whenever. Like if she's killed once, she can come back again.
Yeah, she just like pulls a her from a different point of time or whatever.
Yeah, and so she kills them, takes their time, and like adds that to her own time. And that's her
which
angel.
makes her like kind of immortal.
Yeah, she's essentially an immortal. And so then Shido's like, well, I'm gonna make you stop doing that. Like we're skipping ahead a little bit. This is like past the date and everything.
Yeah, because Shido's like, I'm tired of seeing you kill people. I'm tired of seeing Mana kill you. Let's just stop the whole thing. How about that? And she's like, no.
Yeah, and well, no. Her first person is like, oh, well, if it's for you, and then she kills herself. Well, like a future version of her kills her past self, and then.
Oh yeah, we're like super out of order here.
Time is like weird, but like, whatever. We can get back to those later. Like we didn't miss any like the major plot points. Did we?
I think we did. I don't know if we did. I'm confused.
I mean, like they had a date, like where.
Like they had the date, but I'm trying to figure out if this happened before or after
the three-way date. I think happened before like the big like finale to Kurumi's like arc in this season.
Yeah, because there's a three-way date, which is an interesting episode.
And it's to Kurumi, Origami, and Toka, and Shido basically has to like go from date to date and like pretend
with the help of Ratatosk's teleportation.
Yeah, and like try to make sure
it's a. Sorry, no, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say she has to make sure none of them know that he's on another date with the other girls, because then their happiness meter will go down.
Yeah, and it's at the end of that Kurumi kills more people because she finds dudes shooting airsoft guns at a kitten.
Yeah, which honestly,
and she shanks them.
Honestly, no, she doesn't shank them. She shoots them.
She shanks them from a distance
with a gun. That's not a shank.
2 guns.
Oh yeah, 2 guns, but like
because her guns look like claw cans. We find that out later because she uses a long gun and a short gun. She has like a pistol and a sawed-off shotgun.
Yeah, and they're also like one shot guns too. Like one of them is like looks like an old like pirate gun. I don't know gun names. Don't flame me. Yeah, flintlock.
Pretty sure that's supposed to be flintlock.
Yeah, flintlock. But like
because they're both old timey guns, and she does like clock poses. She points them at like clock cans.
Yeah.
Because she summons this big freaking clock stand behind her.
That's her angel.
Yeah, she summons a clock stand behind her, and she points her guns like minute and hour hands, and they suck up numbers, and she shoots. Yeah. And she can either shoot them at other people to mess with their time stream, or she can shoot herself with it to mess with her time stream and like teleport around.
Right. Yeah. And so, I was with her on this part, where she was like, the guys were shooting the BB guns at the cat.
Yeah, no. The only thing I gave a shit about there was whether the cat survived. That was the important part, which he did.
Yes,
the cat lived.
The cat lived, and honestly, like Kurumi's statement there, like maybe we this is something we would get in later, but like where she's like, look, if you're gonna point a gun and shoot something, then you need to be prepared to be shot yourself. I'm with that 100%.
Yeah, so like Kurumi's insane, but sometimes she has standards.
Well, like no, that's not sometimes like that. I think that's like a constant thing. Like that's a.
Well, no, but she tries to kill like the entire school because she wants to eat Shido.
But here's the thing, right? She's prepared to die. That's her whole statement. Is that like if you're gonna point a gun at somebody, be prepared to have that gun pointed at you, which she is. So
yeah, she shoots the man like in front of Shido.
From that is a constant. It doesn't change.
Yeah.
Which is what I really like. I appreciated that about her. But I think that's something we're going to have to get into later.
Yeah, I'm going to assume there's more Kurumi stuff in later seasons. I had never seen the series before. So I have, at the point of this recording, only seen season 1. Although I am probably going to watch the later seasons before we do the next episode. I'm probably going to watch them over the next like amount of time because this was a good show. Yeah. I just spoiled my thoughts on it.
It's a good show. I've seen season 1 and 2 in the movie. I need to watch season 3, but I'm going to rewatch season 2 in the movie. I didn't remember a lot from it. So,
anyways, they're fighting Kurumi and Kotori, like, goes nuts for a second.
Yeah, she goes Super Saiyan, essentially.
Yeah, and she spawns a dress and a fire axe.
And then it's like, oh boy, she's a spirit.
Yeah, and this had been, like, hinted at before because Origami lost her parents in, like, a fire, and then later they were, like...
by a spirit.
And then they later revealed that it was started by a spirit. And then we see Kotori turn into the Ifrit, and they're just like, "Oh, she's the one who did it."
Yep. But she didn't get to see Kotori. She just saw that like that was the spirit, so she didn't know at that point that it was Kotori.
Yeah, she starts asking like everybody else for details, but conveniently everyone else passed out and didn't realize it was her.
Yeah, conveniently Shido passed out.
Well, yeah, no, Shido uses it as an excuse to not give any actual information, but
because that group doesn't know Shido is trying to do this to save the girls.
And they also like, so the main cast knows that Origami is like the group trying to kill spirits, but Origami also knows that he's doing something that's making them not evil, and she's not sure how she feels about it.
Yeah, she's really conflicted.
That's the vibe I got.
Yeah, no, she's conflicted. Okay, and then so Kurumi gets kind of beaten by Kotori, who's Ifrit, and then Kurumi disappears.
Yeah, because Shido saves her. Yeah. Shido like jumps in front of Kurumi, and Kotori snaps out of it because she was about to release the Ultra Beam.
Yep.
And she snaps out of it and doesn't kill him. Kurumi nopes out. Everyone passes out, and they like get back to recovery later.
Yes. And then we're in the final arc. So this is just like the last couple episodes now, which is all about Kotori, because now that we know that Kotori is a spirit, now he has to make sure that now he has to get her happiness meter up,
or at the very least, she's a spirit or a human with like spirit powers or something. Like I don't think it's properly explained.
It's not. It's like it seems almost like Ifrit is possessing her, rather than her being Ifrit.
Yeah, because they look over some security footage, and there's like a blurry figure behind Kotori when she's doing the Ifrit
But also only Shido can see that. Because
Blonde Man didn't
Tanazuki
notice it.
Is there, and he like even while rewatching it, he's like, "What are you talking about? Why are you freaking out?" And Shido's like, the figure, there's a figure there, and then he passes out.
Yeah, and then everyone wakes up, and they're just like, "You have to go on a date with your sister."
Yeah, and he's like, "Got it. Yes, ma'am. Please let me." I don't think he's that enthusiastic, actually.
And they go to the water park, and they bring the two other girls with. There's another side episode.
The two other girls are Toka and Yoshino.
Yeah, Toka and Yoshino, and then Origami shows up.
Yeah, Origami.
And I want to talk about that episode later because it gave me some good chuckles.
Yeah.
But then they go to the water park.
Yes.
They're like, you need to date Kotori because if you don't seal her spirit powers in like 2 days, she's gonna go completely insane.
Right. And so he's like, got it. I don't want that to happen. And then Reine, the like kind of, she's probably the second in command at Ratatoskr.
Okay, we're gonna get into the best girl debate later, but if I'm allowed to pick outside of the main cast, if I'm allowed to have like a top pick outside of main cast, Rain is like the best.
Okay, we can't do that because then there's no debate because she's great.
Oh wow! What, you and me agree on a thing? What is this?
It's crazy, I know.
Yeah, no, Rain's great. She's super tired at all times. And if you haven't noticed, I like the tired characters because I associate with them.
And so she becomes like the leader, kind of. I mean, really, like Kanazuki becomes the leader during this whole operation. He's the one giving all the orders. Yeah,
because Kotori's like out and about.
Yeah, because Kotori's is the one on the date. But Reine is like tells Shido's like, hey, this might be your last chance to see your sister like this. She might never return to this.
Yeah, well,
state.
no pressure. Don't screw up.
Yeah, basically. And so they go to the water park, and things don't go great. Like they're fine for a while.
Yeah, it's like very awkward.
Then, yeah, they're fine. It's fine for a while. And then like she kind of loses control because Origami shows up with these big guns.
Well, before that, actually,
Okay.
no. There's one really important thing before that I took a note on because this is a big deal, and I was hoping he would do it, and then he finally did it. Because she keeps being like super skeptical, like, oh, I guess headquarters just told you to say that or whatever. And he had a couple of gaffes earlier where he like listened to the wrong person's advice and complimented her boobies, I guess.
Yeah.
And so after a while, he's just kind of like,
Kanazuki said to do.
yeah. And then after a while, he's just like, this headset is useless. He takes out the earpiece that HQ's been talking with him and just yeets it away.
Yeah.
So that he can be like himself.
And then he takes her away to the amusement park.
Yeah, which she's like not sure about, and then they go and they do adorable brother sister stuff.
Yeah, it's great. But they're
They
also
just
on a
they're
date.
just
It's
cute.
kind of... Anyways,
There's domestic girlfriend level of stuff, but whatever.
and so then Origami shows up with the big guns.
Yeah, because she stole like this mega suit.
Yeah, it was white licorice.
Even a
name of the suit.
professional high wizard was nearly killed using this suit.
Yeah. And so Origami takes it to go kill Kotori because she realizes Kotori is Ifrit, who is what the spirit that killed her parents.
Yes. Yes, and then they fight, and Shido is like, hey, don't.
Yeah, and Shido stands in front of the way, and Kotori starts to lose it and starts to turn into Ifrit, and then he kisses Kotori. Wait, before this happens though, Shido like runs into Kotori getting a shot to keep her sane.
Yeah, because Rain is
Reine.
giving her drugs.
Yeah, to keep her sane. She's like medicating her.
Rain's giving her heroin.
And Rain is like, hey, don't pretend like you didn't see this because she wanted this to be a normal date, so don't give her any pity or anything, because that's the last thing she wants, which he wasn't going to do anyways.
Yeah, and it was like right after this point that he threw away the headset. This was before they went to the
the amusement park,
to the amusement half. Yeah.
And so then back to the Origami fight. Then he's like, hey, I really love you, and she's like, oh no, I love you too, Oni-chan. And then he kisses her, or they kiss.
Her powers are sealed.
And then Toka comes in, stops Origami, and destroys.
Yeah, Toka and
White
Yoshino.
Licorice. Yeah, Toka and Yoshino come in, destroy White Licorice, and Toka is able to talk Origami down from killing Kotori. Because even after she was out of the suit, she had the pistol out, pointed at her head.
Well, no. What talked her out of it at the very end was Shido had like sealed her powers, and it's just like, hey, you're after Ifrit, not Kotori. I have Ifrit's powers. Kill me instead.
Right. But she was still going to kill Kotori because Kotori is what is the image that she had. And so she didn't know she could fully trust Shido. So he was still convincing her not to kill Kotori, but that is what eventually is what made her put the gun down.
Yeah, because there's like a lot of back and forth, and he's like, yeah, you're right. Because Toka is like, don't make me go through the same loss that you had or whatever.
Well,
and
also,
then Shido says the same thing.
Yeah.
Don't kill my sister and make me go through the same loss you did.
And also Toka
and she has like this
brings up
flashback from shooting Shido.
Right, exactly. From when Origami killed her, because Toka's like, no, I know what you went through because you killed him. Do you not remember that? Right in front of my eyes. So if you do the same thing again, like you're gonna do, or if you do the same thing to Kotori, you're gonna be doing, you're gonna be hurting Shido more, and Shido is never gonna like love you or anything, like never gonna want any part of you.
Shido will never invite you to his birthday party.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, and so she backs down, and then everybody goes home.
Yeah.
Is that where it ends? I think it does. I think it just ends there.
That's about where it ends. Yeah, like there's some after quote unquote after credits stuff. But like that's about what it ends. Then we have the OVA, which is a date with Origami, where he's.
We'll
trying to
talk about the
convince
OVA
her.
completely separately. Let's do like the OVA as like a separate thing. Do we want to do that? Do we want to go through
I
the
figured we would go
OVA?
through the OVA and then take our break and then come back. And
Okay,
discuss
okay,
it.
yeah. That's a good point. So let's do our segment on the OVA, and then once we're done talking about the OVA, we'll
Yeah.
go break.
So OVA starts off with him saying, "I really like little girls. I'm a lolicon." And trying to and on a date with Origami, and you're like, "Whoa, dude, what's up, dude? What's going on?"
Yeah, and he's like admitting all these embarrassing things. He's like, I also have a mother complex. I also have a sister.
Every time I
complex.
get
And-
home from school, I kiss a picture of my mother, and then I get smothered by her, and then I put on a diaper and a binky, and I go and get baby talked.
yeah, and Origami's just like, cool.
Okay, whatever. And then Origami.
And so-
no, sorry, that's later.
He has one more point. He's like, my goal is to sleep with every girl in this city. And Origami's like, okay, I'll just kill them all.
Yeah, and she's like, I'll be the only girl in the city then. And he's like, whoa, hold up, B.
And so there's like a flashback, and they cut back, and they're like, okay, so you just used Origami for practice, and she's like attached to you. Let's break it off. So go on a date and intentionally make her hate you.
Yes.
And apparently that is really hard to do.
It's impossible. It's impossible.
It's
Wait. One thing we forgot to mention about the last episode of the actual series proper. I just remembered.
backtrack.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, so Rene is like, I should have just told you to seal her powers before the date, but Coach Rudy really wanted to go on the date, and he's like, but wait, you have to have max powers, and then she's like, look at this graph, and Coach Rudy's graph was always at maximum happiness.
I just
Always.
You
And then Coach
the way
Rudy
you
comes
worded
in.
that. I just think of the freaking Nickelback gif. Look at this graph.
Look at this graph. Oh god. And then Coach Rudy comes in and is like, no, that graph must be mistaken. And Rene says, no, it's not. This is correct data. And she tells her to go buy her some special edition like donuts or something. And that's
Yeah,
when
she's
Rene
like,
is
whoops, I guess the readings were wrong.
Oh, no, yeah, no, I guess they were wrong. And
Because
Coach Rudy has
that's the
been
thing.
maximum happiness the whole time.
Coterie is like the dom of everyone in that building.
Yeah, no, she is like the top dog. Somehow she's still in middle school. I'm pretty sure.
Look, it's the Twin Tails. Twin Tails give an aura of power.
They do, yeah. Anyways, okay, so back to the OVA. I just remembered that
Back to the OVA.
because during this OVA,
I was so scared of this OVA because I had actually seen part of this. I had never seen anything about Data Live, and then my roommate, we were like, we wanted to watch anime together, and we were like, we don't want to start a series because we'll mess with anything. He's like, how about I show you this unrelated anything? And he pulled up this OVA, and I got like 5 minutes in, and I had to nope out of it. And I messaged Seaweed when we started watching the show because he told me to watch the OVA as well, and I'm like, this OVA better not be what I think it is. And then I got to this OVA, and I'm like, you son of a... This is exactly what I think it is. Because the next scene is him and him and Origami in like the Central Park.
Yes.
And he's wearing like this hentai t-shirt.
Well, he's wearing this
honestly,
anime T-shirt with like a
props.
lolly girl on it.
Props. And they're like, okay, degrade her or whatever. And so they go for like all the worst dialogue choices. That's what it is. They have the dialogue choices on the Reddit.
The first thing she's like, well, how do my clothes look? And he's like, they look awful. They look terrible. And then she's like, well, what should I wear? He's like, and then out of the choices they choose, swimsuit with dog ears and dog tail.
School swimsuit.
Yeah, school swimsuit. That's right. And so she runs away, and then she immediately runs back wearing that exact thing.
And another dialogue option comes up, and the one they pick is what was it?
It
was like
you are I believe it was something like, you are a bitch that should not even be allowed to walk on two legs as the rest of us walk it on your hands and knees.
And so as the middle of this Central Park with just like random people around, she gets down on hands and knees and just like wanders up to him, and she won't even say sentences at this point because he's trying to be like, "Hey, please don't," and she's just like, "Woof," or sorry,
No, she takes off his belt, wraps it around her neck, uses it as a leash, and says, "Woof." And
she doesn't say "woof"; she says Japanese "woof," which is "wom."
What? Yeah.
Which I think this is a dumb tangent. This is not what the takeaway should be of this episode, but it's really interesting hearing animal sounds in different languages because they're sounded out differently.
They are. It's really cool, actually.
Because she's just like "wom" like twice instead of "woof."
Yep. Well,
that subtitle said "woof."
Yeah. I mean, nya is meow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, which it's really interesting hearing other sounds, like other animal sounds. So basically,
and so
he goes on the date, the rest of the date, and then they're like, okay, nothing, you can't degrade her. It's impossible. So instead, just accept that you're dating her and break up with her.
No. There's one other thing that has to be brought up. They go to a diner. And partway through dinner, she's like,
"That's right."
Okay. She's like, "Okay, I gotta use the restroom." And they pick the dialogue option where he's like, "No, you cannot."
Yeah, this was like the thing at the beginning of the episode was like a flash forward to this scene. This is the same scene. They just skipped that stuff at the beginning because you already seen that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then he's like, "No, I won't allow you to go." And she's like, "Oh, you want me to do it here? Okay."
And he tries to stop her because he's like, he doesn't want to commit to this. And he trips over a chair and pulls her skirt off. And she's just like, "Oh, you want it on you. I get it."
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, you want a golden shower." I think that's what my subtitles said. And I was like, "Oh,
well, yeah. Well,
God.
No. I think my sub was, "You want to be covered in ore," and then there was like a full censored line.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I had like golden shower, or you want this, and it was a censored bar.
Yeah.
And so then he was like, "Oh God," and everybody in the restaurant's looking at him.
This is the point where I tapped out last time I watched this. I don't think I actually made it this far. I think I tapped out after the dog swimsuit.
Oh my God. Yeah, because she's back to wearing normal clothes.
Yeah, she goes back to like the outfit she was wearing in the first place because he apologized to her and was like, "Hey, not like this."
Yeah.
Oh, Toka has a cell phone. That matters too.
Oh yeah, that's right. She gets a cell phone at the beginning of the episode, and she's like, "Isn't this thing cool?"
Keita denwa.
Yeah, Keita denwa.
She's like so hype about it.
She is. And so then he, in order to keep her away from this date, he gives her a shopping list for dinner.
Yeah, sends her to get groceries.
And then so that's how they're keeping track of her. They're monitoring her to make sure they don't cross paths because that would be bad. Because her happiness meter would go down if she saw him with another woman.
Yeah, and if the mental levels go down, she might get her powers back.
Right.
Which is bad because earthquakes.
Mm-hmm.
Or spatial quakes.
Yep.
And there's like the classic anime misunderstanding because Toka tries to call Shido. He doesn't answer, but then he does answer because it patches through to his headset.
Yeah, well, he doesn't even know. He doesn't even know.
He doesn't know.
It just immediately picks up through his headset. And then she's like, "Hey," or he starts saying something because he's practicing his breakup line. And then she's like, "Wait, are you serious?" And he's like, "Yep, I'm completely serious." And she's like, "What? Do you not like me?" He's like, "I hate you." And then she starts crying. And he's like, "Wait a minute. Wait, who?" Wait.
And they're just like, "There's a wave of destruction at the local park." So he has to run off and go take care of her. And so like having that gag is like a twist. Like you don't necessarily see that coming. Right. But then they go up, and he's talking to her, and he's like, "Look, no, I don't hate you. We can be together forever." And they caught me off guard because they used the exact same gag a second time. He's on the phone with Origami.
Yeah, and he doesn't hang up with Origami because he's trying to figure out where Origami is. Or Origami calls him and is like, "Hey, where are you at?" And he doesn't. Yeah. And he doesn't hang up, and she hears everything he says.
Yeah, and she's like, "I'm your waifu for lifeu. Deal with it."
Yep. And he's like, "Oh man!" And then laugh track, and it fades to black.
The Big Bang Theory laugh track. There's a bazinga somewhere in the audience.
Oh, bazinga! And yeah, that's basically how the episode ends, I think.
I used to own a Bazinga T-shirt, and I'm ashamed of that period.
Me
of
too,
time.
and I'm not ashamed because I still like that show.
I realized how bad that show is a few years later.
It's a bad show, but I like it. So, yeah. All right.
So
I think that covers the episodes.
we did our lightning round. We got through the plot. We talked about the OVA in, I think, about as much detail as we need. Is this where we should take our halftime?
I think
by
it is.
golly, I could use the opportunity to step out.
Me too, dog. All right, let's take our break. We'll be back in just a few moments.
We'll be back in some amount of time. Either the speed of an edit or the speed of a mid-roll ad. We don't know.
Gamer. All right. Cool.
Gamer time. We'll catch up with you.
What?
That was my outro.
Oh, okay, cool.
Cut!
All right. Welcome back after that quick little break we had to the channel Weeb, and we are going to be talking about what episode are we talking about, Bob?
We're talking about episode 6. I don't have many notes written down, but that's because I was too busy just like zoning out to this episode. I specifically requested to talk about this episode because this is my favorite thing I've seen in a long time. So, in episode 6, to bring everyone's bonds closer together, Shido, not Kodori, Shido, Toka, and Yoshino wanted to go to the hot springs together.
Right.
And Kotori was trying to like sneak along with them. But at the same time, the captain of the SCV or ACV whatever.
Whatever. Who cares?
Captain of the Angry Ladies, which by the way they're all girls for some reason.
Yes.
They're all girls in jet suits.
I'm sure there's some reason for it, but I don't know it.
They also wanted to go to the hot springs. And so both parties are making their way separately. The main group tries to invite Kotori along. And she's like, well, I guess I'll go if you're going to ask me. Because it has to be her idea. She has to agree to it.
Yes.
Or she's like a cat. Like, it's only okay if, like, it's their idea.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's weird. But there's an amazing sequence because the crew of the Ratatosk notices that the SCVs are coming along with. And it's like, we must stop them. They'll find the spirits. And so they use the date town from Toka's date.
Yes.
And they weaponize it.
Yep.
And this led to the single greatest sequence I have seen in anime in months. I don't really know how to explain it. I'm sorry, this is kind of becoming my segment because I just want to geek out here. I just want to gush a little bit. But whenever you have a sequence, I don't even know if this is a trope, where just like random things that aren't meant to become weaponry, like start fighting, it makes me so hype. And so when like udon noodle stands and arcade games start fighting the SCVs, I was so hype. I forgot to take notes on this episode because I was grinning like an idiot the entire time.
Yeah, no, I did like that too. I liked all like the takoyaki like started becoming like bullets and stuff, and like the udon like was like tying up the girls.
Yeah, it was like nets.
Yeah, it was great. It was a lot of fun.
There was a flower shop that just like shot out water, except it wasn't water. It was like anti-friction liquid, and a girl just slides into the shop. And there's like a bowling strike sound effect. Everything on this episode was excellent.
It was a really good episode. And it was great. And it showed like the it was like a very lighthearted episode.
Yeah.
But it still showed that like the SCV or whatever. I think we've given up on what the acronym is.
Yeah, because I keep forgetting.
Yeah, SCV and Rut Tasker, like they do hate each other. Like they don't get along at all. And like it did a really good job at showing that, but also still being lighthearted and fun.
But being so dopey in the best way possible. Because also the leader of the SCVs, or the captain in charge or whatever, is one of my absolute favorite side characters. Like, even though she has literally just that episode is like the only time she does anything.
Right.
And they're fighting through, and she ends up going berserk because she just wants to get in the hot spring, but the whole city is stopping her. And so they send like Origami up to scout, and she's like, there's a path over this way, and they walk over there and there's a wall, and she's just like, she points to all the girls in the troop and it's just like, none of you see this, and puts C4 on the wall.
Yeah, and then they blow it up, and then she's like, oh no, what just happened? And Origami's like, it looks like the wall just spontaneously combusted.
Weird, what a war zone will do.
And the leader's like, oh no, that's so weird. And she's like acting all cute and stuff, like she has no idea what's going on.
It's so great and it's adorable. Because I
is.
know they're supposed to be a military regiment, but the SCV crew, they're so adorable. They're so cute. I love them.
No, they are. They are. Like that can be said for almost every character in this show, honestly. Is that they're really adorable. This episode really highlighted that for me.
This episode was an adorable war zone where it's military girls fighting an entertainment district, and it was, I'm sorry, I can't get over how amazing this was. This was my favorite part of the show.
It's a really good episode, and like, I mean, I know during the break you were calling it a filler episode, and
now if I call an episode filler, I know it's not technically the correct definition, but I don't necessarily mean that as a bad thing. I just mean that it wasn't like hardcore important to the main plot.
It was, yeah. You could have, I mean, technically you could have skipped this episode and still understood the full plot, but like, it's a great episode. Like, it's not Naruto filler.
It was so amazing, and I absolutely loved it. And this was right after, so like I was already having a really good time at this part of the show, because like the episodes before that, my notes, I legitimately don't know what happened. I just like missed an episode of notes. I didn't not take an episode. I booted up episode 6 and then noticed I only had 4 episodes of notes and was like, wait, what? I've been writing notes this entire time. What happened?
Yeah.
Because I had just been having a good time.
Yeah. See, one of the things also I want to point out here is that Wob, he doesn't watch shows in one sitting.
I don't have that kind of strength usually. I have messaged Seaweed about this independently, or not independently. You know what I mean? Like, not about the recording per se.
Yeah.
Because, like, when I watch something for the show, even if it's a 12-episode show, I split it over 2 days because I don't have that kind of patience. I have to go game or whatever and do something else.
Yeah, he's a real gamer over here.
Pro gamer.
And and then I got I got a message saying, "Hey, I'm saying that he was starting the show," and then like 3 hours later, I got this message like, "Oh, this is the OVA," and I was like, "Wait, are you on the you finishing the show now?" And he was like, "Oh," which means he sat down and watched this entire show in one sitting.
That is how much fun I had with this show. It has been a long time since I've been able to do that. It's been since, for context of people who might watch this in the future, it's freaking August right now. Last time I was able to watch a large amount of show in one day was I watched like half of JoJo's Part 4 over spring break back in March.
And before that, you watched, one season of Assassination Classroom or something?
Yeah, but that was like 2 years before.
Yeah, exactly. But that was the only time before. And,
Ever since I got a gaming PC, I've been very slow about watching anime. But then this one, I just sat down and then I just watched it, and it was great. And it kept bringing me back in.
Yeah, see, that same day, I'd only watched, 5? I watched 5 episodes. That was the thing also about this show. The episodes go by so quick, and which is a very good thing, kind of a good thing. Because like I don't know, I kind of wished that it was like longer, that I spent more time with the characters and stuff, just because like I liked the characters so much.
But
like,
hey, there's 2 more seasons.
exactly, and a movie.
And I will watch them.
Yep. Finally, a show Wob is going to continue.
I mean, slowly. I'm trying to... Seaweed suggested I try watching anime 1 episode at a day, because that is faster than the 0 episodes per day I usually do.
It's infinitely faster, actually.
And so I'm going to be, like, bouncing around between Golden Wind and the season 2 and 3 of this.
Yeah. And so that was pretty big news, and I didn't even watch this whole show in one day. It took me 2 days.
We've been doing a shot of Weeb for like a month and a half now, and this is the first show that I finished before Seaweed.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, honestly. But like, it's great. I'm glad you really liked this show, because I remember, because I watched the show initially when it was airing. So this is my second viewing.
Are there any anime that you didn't watch when it was airing?
Yeah, there's a couple, 1 or 2. But like this is most of the shows we've watched so far have been rewatches for me, which I'm very happy with. Like I'm not complaining at all.
I mean, that's just going to be the kind of nature of things, is like,
right,
because you've seen, what is it, like
almost 700,
quite literally 5 or 6 times more. Wait, 600?
Almost 700.
You have seen literally over 10 times the anime I have.
Yeah, and so we're trying to catch Wob up here. That's part of the show, is we're trying to catch Wob up, get Wob up, get him some notches on his belt.
No matter what we talk about, with the exception of the episodes that are neither have seen, which next episode is one of those. With the exception of those episodes, odds are Seaweed has seen it, I have not.
Yep, and there will be some exceptions, I'm sure, with some of the stuff you choose. But
yeah, because there are a couple shows that I've watched and you haven't. I'm just like, dude, how can you have not? Like, finish Konosuba. Jeez, dude.
Yeah, I need to watch season 2.
Finish Konosuba. I want to geek out about it.
Okay, yeah, I'll watch that soon. I promise. But since this was a rewatch for me, I mean, I remembered liking it, which is why I was like, yeah, no, I'm totally down to watch it. Which, like, there's very few shows I'm going to shoot down when it's Wob's choice.
As far as I know, there's literally only one.
There's 2, but yes.
Wait, there's 2?
Only one that you care about.
Oh, yeah, because there was a second one that I'd literally never heard of.
Yeah. But, like, so this one was... I liked it. I remembered liking it, because I watched it, like, back in high school. And I remembered really liking it, and...
What was I even doing in 2013?
I didn't watch this when it aired. I watched this when season 2 came out. I was like, oh, that looks cool. So I watched season 1 and season 2. But I remember like really enjoying it, and like, I mean, I have a Kurumi mouse pad, a Kurumi anime titty mouse pad. It's great.
You cringe lord. That is one more titty mouse pad than I own.
It's actually infinite times the amount of titty mouse pads you own.
I mean, I should... Honestly, if I'm going to be a true weeb, I need to buy a titty mouse pad. And ascend.
And a Dakimakura.
And a
Dakimakura.
Oh, what?
Body pillow.
Oh, jeez.
Because I do have one of those. I didn't buy it myself, though. I didn't buy it myself.
But
I got it in like one of those, like, you remember those like subscription boxes where you would get like merch and stuff? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I used to subscribe to those like back in the day, and I got an anime body pillow where one side is Maka and the other side is Soul from Soul Eater.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh, it's great. But
that's
back
amazing.
to Data Life.
Back to Data
I really
Life.
Like this show. And
Neither
like,
of us own Data Life body pillows.
Yeah, there's definitely Data Life body pillows.
Please, if I ever got a body pillow, it'd be Danganronpa.
Oh, of course it would be. But yeah, no, I'm really glad that I rewatched this show, because like, it wasn't even like, I didn't even like care about rewatching it. Honestly, I was like fine enough with just going to season 3, but I'm glad I did, because I didn't remember most of this. So like a lot of it, especially like, the animation of this show is top notch, honestly. Like the character animation specifically. Like it doesn't have like there's no like Kakashi Obito fight scene, right? Like you know what I'm talking about with that, right?
No.
Oh god, okay. We'll have to watch that after the show. It's a very well animated fight scene.
Is it gonna be freaking DBZ I'm Blue 3 hours remix or whatever?
No, it's like a fight scene from the show. It's just straight, just a clip. But like there's like the character animation is fantastic. Like I took so many screenshots of faces throughout this show because like the faces are so expressive.
I need you to send me some of those.
Oh, I will. I have like honestly, I probably have like around 50.
Jeez, dude.
Like throughout this show, it took me longer to watch this show because I kept having to turn off the subtitles, go back 5 seconds, rewatch that 5 seconds to get the exact timestamp I wanted, and then screenshot it.
I think I screenshotted exactly once during the show, and it was a screenshot that I sent to you, Seaweed, of when the blonde simp man was being dragged out by the two fabulous men.
Oh, yes, that one. Yeah, that's a great one. Yeah, you sent that. You actually sent me that screenshot before I got to that episode.
Yeah, and I sent you that, and I'm like, this show is awful, and I love it.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's great. But, like, this show has... Like, I know... I see a lot, like... Because, like, I follow some Sakuga people on Twitter, right? Mm-hmm. And, like, a lot of times they will, like, tweet screenshots and be like, oh, man, these faces. Like, I mean, smears are a big thing, but, like, faces are another, like how expressive they are. Mm-hmm. And this show is the... I think this might be the first time where I've thought... Wow, these faces are so good because they're so expressive, especially in episode 1. The scene, I mean, like the opening of it when Kotori is waking up Shido, and like all of the faces that both of them make are so extremely expressive. It's fantastic. It's so hard to like. I can't describe it without just showing images.
There was one sequence that I absolutely loved that showed that off, and it's like there was when Toka had first moved in with Shido and Kotori, because there was a little bit where she lived with them. Mm-hmm. Kotori kept pranking Shido to like walk in on Toka in compromising circumstances.
Right. Yeah.
And there's one bit where he like catches onto it and he starts trying to like fight her for it. So Kotori suggests that he goes to take a bath first. And he's like, something's up. So he pulls out these bath salts that Kotori apparently loves to use, and he's like, are you sure you don't want to go first? We're going to use these today. And she's just like, oh no. And she like pinches her arm and is like, you can go first. It's okay. And so he should have backed out of that. He should have known it was fine. But he takes it up. He puts the bath salts in. He gets in the bath and he's just like, wow, I guess I was overthinking it. You can't out-gamble me, because he knows that she'll take it first if he offers the bath salts. You can't out-gamble me. And then while he's in the bathtub, Toka walks in and just like hops in the water. And there's like a side pop-up. This was one of my favorite images. There was a side pop-up of Kotori with sunglasses at a bar holding up a drink saying, you can't out-gamble me.
I remember that. That was, oh man, that was so good.
It was so good.
Oh man, I love that thing. Like they did that, they didn't do that a lot. Unfortunately, like that specific gag, but
I wish there was more of it because Shido and Kotori were so adorable when they're trying to outwit each other.
And it's great, and like that happened, kind of in the OVA some, where
did it?
A little bit, but like, well, no, actually, it's a little different. But like in the like scenes where like Shido is trying to, or like they're trying to convince, like the pop up thing happened. But like when they're trying to like convince Origami that like are trying to make him seem like he's the worst person ever, like Shido's the worst, right? Mm-hmm. And like you'll get these like little like speech bubble-esque things, but it's like Kotori in the speech bubble, and she's like making all these like ridiculous faces and stuff. And like those were great because there's one, I remember one specifically where she was like where he said something, just it might have been the line where he told her to get on all fours, and like she did it, and she pops up and she's like, not even that worked. What is gonna work? There's nothing that can work. And it was amazing. The expressiveness, like The character designs were so well done, I think, in this show that
Speaking,
it
no, go
lended
ahead and
them
finish. Sorry.
to yeah, see, it lended them to like they gave them also like kind of like chibi, I guess, character designs.
Yeah, whenever they did the little pop-up dialogue boxes, they had like a chibi image.
Yeah. But like they were also able to simplify the character designs, but they were still like clearly each character. And
Yeah,
it
everyone's
wasn't,
super
like,
distinct.
like it was a different like it was definitely like a different like style of character design, but like it didn't like feel out of place. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like it still felt like it fit the world they were in. They never felt like they didn't belong there, which is what I loved about the show. And like they would simplify the character designs to make them more expressive and give them more animation and stuff. And one of the ones I think that I remember specifically that wasn't a speech bubble too. It was again from episode 1. But like when Shido's cooking breakfast before they leave, Coach Lee's watching like the news, I think, and she puts a like a lollipop in her mouth, and he comes over. He's like, "Hey, no sweets before breakfast," and he starts to pull it out, and her face like gets super deformed, and like she gets like this huge mouth. You can see like all of her teeth, and he's trying to pull it out and stuff, and it's like adorable.
Yeah,
oh, man,
no,
I screenshotted that. It was great.
She had a lollipop in her mouth at like all times, and it was so cute.
Yeah, it was like instead of a cigarette.
You mentioned earlier pop-up jokes, and that reminded me of one of the other. There's like a couple just like assorted bits and pieces here and there that I want to remember of. And speaking of pop-up jokes, and I mean this in multiple senses of the word, one of the stupidest one-liners in the show that I remember absolutely killing me. In the episode before the final episode, they're like,
Okay.
"You need training. You'll lose points with coterie if you look at other girls at the water park."
Yeah.
So he sends so Rain is the one who said that. Rain sends him to a swimsuit shop with
Yep.
Toka and Yoshino, and then Origami shows up.
Yep.
And naturally, Origami is trying to assert dominance because that's what she does.
Mm-hmm.
And she and Toka get in an argument about who can interest Shido the most.
Right. Yeah.
And so they're like trying on different swimsuits, and they're both trying to be, I don't know, erotic or whatever. But either way, and they keep doing their thing, and Rain is just like, "I'm monitoring your heartbeat. I can tell if you lose."
Yeah, because he says like, "Oh no, this stuff doesn't affect me. I think I'll be fine." And she's like, "Don't forget, we're monitoring your heart rate at all times."
He's just like, "Yes, sir, I've got this."
Yeah.
And they're both really getting to him because like Origami knows how to work the main character. That's the one thing. That's one of the best things about Origami is she knows how to get them to do what she wants. But either way, they're both trying like really hard, and then at the very end we hear and "Oh no, help me!" And Yoshino like shouts from one of the changing rooms. He's like, "No, I'm gonna help you!" And he like opens the door, and Yoshino, because she keeps a puppet on one hand, like got tangled up while trying to put a swimsuit on, and it cuts to a frame of Shido looking absolutely shocked, and we just hear Rain. "Looks like we have a winner."
Yeah. Yeah, that was amazing.
I died at that line.
It was such a good line. It was so good, yeah. Because and then it just immediately that's the end of that scene.
Yeah,
That's the
just
end of
hard
that whole
cuts.
bit.
There's like 10 minutes of Toka and Origami trying to freaking turn
Successfully.
Shido on.
Successfully also. Let's remember that.
Let's be real.
Every time was successful.
Yeah, they're both trying so hard, and then Yoshino is just like, "Oops!" And they're like, "We have a winner." And I lost it. That was such a... One-liners have to be done really well. That was done excellently.
It was very good. Yeah. Yeah. No, I remember that line as well. Oh man. God, that episode was great. That bit was great because just like so many things, and like there were so many faces during that episode as well that were just so well done.
Yeah, because like every time Origami would do something really dramatic, Toka would just like freak out in the background. Mm-hmm. Origami did to a lesser degree. Origami's a very reserved individual.
Yeah. I mean, actually, my Discord profile picture currently is from that episode where Toka is really pissed after Origami does the like tells Shido to take off her clothes.
Yeah, because she put on a swimsuit like under her regular outfit, and she's just like, open it.
And then like my Discord icon right now is that face that Toka makes right after that.
It was pretty excellent. It's that one where like her hair's over her eyes, and you don't see her eyes; they're in shadow.
And there's blush lines, like huge blush lines, and her.
I mean, those were present on both characters through like the whole episode.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. But these were massive and like really distinct. Mm-hmm. And then her mouth is also like super deformed, and it's great. I loved that image so much.
Good. That sequence was so stupid, and I loved everything about it.
It was great. It was so good. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. See that. All of like that's the thing I think I liked about the most about this show, honestly, was like the little moments. Like the main plot, it's like kind of like, okay, it's kind of cool, whatever. Like sometimes it's like interesting, but for the most part, the character interactions are really what sells this show.
Yeah, because there's a couple like absolutely one-off introductions. I'm glad we got to this bit because there's a couple like single like action jokes that I wanted to riff on. There's like a lot of importance put on head pats.
Yes, but there's like a recurring thing as well.
Everyone wants head pats. Because there's one bit where like this little kid like puts his trash away and is just like, Mom, I put trash away, and she pats him on the head, and so Toka like runs away and puts the trash away, and then charges back over to Shido and just tilts her head.
Yeah, and I think that was in the second episode because that was on Toka's first date. I believe.
That was on Toka's first date, which I think was like 3 or 4, but either way.
Maybe, yeah. Oh yeah. It was probably then. Oh no, it was definitely like 3, episode 3. But
and there was
and then it keeps happening like with other characters as well.
There was one other like single frame joke that I don't even think it's a joke. I just thought it was like very entertaining. I've already mentioned that Rain is just like the best of the side cast.
Yeah.
So like after the big fight with Kurumi and everyone's in the hospital, Shido wakes up first and is just like, "Is everyone alive? Is Tokori or whatever? Is she okay? Is my sister okay? Is Toka okay? Is Kurumi alive?" On and on and on. He's just freaking out, and Rain is just like, "Dude, chill," and just grabs him and puts her in the boobies.
Yeah.
She's like, "Bro, calm down."
Oh yeah, no, that was great. And one thing I wanted to mention too about like all the side characters, I think they did a really good job at them because like we kind of mentioned the group at Ratatasker that like chooses all the things, like they each have very specific options. Like one guy,
their introduction sequence was amazing.
It was, but the thing I really liked about them the most was that like they didn't try to develop those characters. They're like. They are one personality and that's it. And I think that was a really good move because if like there wasn't enough time and like it didn't matter that they got developed. Like
each of those characters were one-line jokes, but because they're not actually that relevant and they have like 2 speaking lines later, it's okay.
Right, exactly. And like but also they're memorable. Like I remember that like
they're
one
so
of
distinct.
the guys, his thing was like he was married and then he got divorced and that's like his thing.
Well, no.
Wasn't it?
They introduced him as having 3 or 4 marriages and divorces under his belt.
That's right. That's what it was. Yeah. He had multiple marriages and divorces, and then like another girl. Oh my God, why can't I remember?
I think we're remembering the same ones because there was one girl that's like she's the destined lover, and she has like a Wicca doll.
Yeah, and she's like, yes, that's exactly the girl I was thinking of. Yeah. But like as you're watching the show, like they're memorable enough. Like you might not remember them after the show, but like that's fine. They don't matter.
They don't matter at all. They just give bad advice to Shido through the headset.
Exactly, and it's great. And like they fulfill their purpose. They're no more than they need to be, which is the best.
Yeah, and it's all so great. It's all so great.
Yeah,
because like one of the other they made him do a bad decision when he first meets Yoshino. They like have him do like this. I think the subtitles put it as like that old west sort of, "Oh, I'm just a drifter passing through the town."
Yeah. I think that's kind of what mine gave too as well.
Because they're all just like, "Oh, it's a classic line. You can't go wrong with it." And they're just like, and Yoshino, the puppet was the only one speaking this time. Yoshino's just like, "Are you it? Are you in a movie? Are you okay, bud?
Yeah, yeah, it was great. Yeah, I mean the whole crew at Ratatasker, like, and kind of like they weren't developed at all, which was perfect. And like the what was his name, the blonde haired guy,
The simp.
yeah, the simp, Kanazuki.
Because
He
like
was
he
not
he actually
developed.
gets awkward at points.
He does, but like it never goes against his character, like what
Well,
his character
no,
was set
but
up
like it
as,
actually
which
made me
was
uncomfortable. Because
great.
like if he was just a one note character that's just like super horny for Kotori, that's fine. There were like at least 3 different points in the show that my note said, "Bonk, go to horny jail."
Oh my god.
But there's
I never got like that far with him.
No, there were a couple of characters that got to that point. Like Origami does it like really badly in the episode when like Shido has to go into like her apartment to find Yoshinon. She like comes
Yeah.
out of the shower in just a towel and like sits on him and is like, you must agree to this specific condition. I don't remember what it was, but it's just like, bonk, go to horny jail.
Oh yeah, no,
because of that,
Origami
because
was
of that, like
very
that one
horny.
single image, the image with the Shibas.
Yeah, she was. Oh, I know the image. I
Yeah.
know the meme.
Yeah.
Origami was very horny throughout the whole.
Oh,
One thing I
jeez.
wanted to mention. This is like a very quick. Like these are like 2 quick things. So first off, there's a lot of like references throughout the show that I didn't really notice till the end. Especially specifically the OVA really like got me on like a couple of these. One of those is that the Ratatasker logo, it is literally Nerve's logo, but like remade. You know, like Nerve from Evangelion.
No, and also I don't remember seeing the logo.
Yeah. So it might only come up in the OVA, but like it's there, and like when I really noticed it was like full screen, but like through that like God, how do I? It's hard to describe this scene, like the way they were animating it, because like they had like the faces of the characters, and like it would switch between the faces, but like in between it would like God, it's so hard to describe what was happening. I don't know the word for it, but it was like flipping these like little like rectangles down the screen to like
Oh,
transition
yeah,
between
yeah, yeah, yeah,
characters,
yeah, yeah,
and you
yeah.
could see the logo behind it, and it looks exactly like Nerve's logo. It's clearly
Yeah.
a reference to Nerve from Evangelion.
Yeah, those were the commercial in and commercial out sequences of the OVA, just the OVA.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then the other thing I noticed was in the OVA. I actually messaged you about this when it happened because I couldn't believe that it happened. But like in the OVA, Shido does an Iyami pose, which if you don't know what that is, it's a very specific pose that Iyami is a character from Osumatsu-kun, or more recently Osumatsu-san. Osumatsu-kun is from 1966, I believe. Osumatsu-kun, it was like a sequel, quote unquote, but like also like a reboot of the show. Iyami is a character there. He does this very specific pose where he goes like yeah, and like puts his one arm above his head, one arm under, and his foot, one of his feet comes up, and like his sock is like wiggling. And Shido does that exact pose. And as soon as I saw that, I messaged Wob and I was like, "Bro, Shido did the Yami pose, dude."
To which I responded, "The what?"
Yeah, you had no idea because you've never seen Osumatsu-san. You didn't even know. Even when I told you that it was from Osumatsu-kun, you didn't even know what that was.
Yeah, I was just like, all right, sure.
It was great. But I think that was more so in the OVA. I didn't notice like a lot of other anime like references or like manga references in the actual show itself. It was more like the OVA had like quite a few of them, and maybe that's just because it was an OVA. I'm not sure, but it was, I don't know. I liked seeing that kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah, because the OVA, I think the descriptor put it as like, this is an unaired episode.
Yeah. So basically, I think it came out with the 9th volume of the light novel, I believe. Let me check that very quickly just to be sure. Yes, I'm correct. The 9th volume of the light novel. It's the unaired 13th episode of the TV series. It's an extra episode. It doesn't like further the plot really. It's like
Yeah, no, it's just kind of
like
there.
a fun side episode.
It's just Origami being super sub, which is weird because that's like the opposite of what she normally does.
Well, no, she's
No,
like,
I don't know if I'm allowed to talk on this subject. Origami is definitely a dom. She comes on to Shido like so hard multiple times.
Yeah, but also like she's willing to do anything for Shido to get Shido to like her. So like it fits with her still.
I suppose it was still weird. Should we transition to like? So since this is at its core a harem show, therefore we, as weebs, are honor bound to have the best girl discussion.
You can't see me, but I am saluting.
Salute the tradition.
We're gonna censor that.
We don't gotta censor that. Would be fine. They can have a hint.
I did it last time. But okay.
Wait, you censored it in the last episode?
I did, yeah. Maybe you should censor it in this one just to keep the joke running.
Oh, jeez. Okay, fine. But salute.
Salute the tradition. Salute tradition. Anyways, yeah, we have to have a best girl. It's a harem show. I love harems. He loves harems. You loves harems. We loves harems. Everybody loves harems.
It's everyone's favorite genre of anime. Even if you've never seen anime, it's your favorite.
It is. Because that's where you get the best girls.
Yield. Frankly, I don't have that solid of an argument, so I still need some time to build it. So I yield the first speech to you.
Were we supposed to prepare a speech?
I don't know, but go for it. Defend your choice.
Okay, first, we have to give what our characters are. Who is our best girl?
Okay, yeah. Let's preface it before we discuss why we chose what we chose.
So
what was your choice?
Best girl in Date Alive is clearly, without a doubt, Kurumi Tokisaki.
See, my choice, there was much less of a without a doubt. They're all good. It came down to two for me. It was a very, very close race between Kotori and Origami. But weighing, I did the scientific method. I deliberated. I wrote a professional essay. And by the time it was over, I have chosen to be a stan for Origami Tobichi.
And not to stall, but also to stall.
We don't need to stall. We're doing fine.
During my first episode, well, I'm stalling so I can get my speech ready. At the beginning of the show, when I started watching it, because I started the day before WoB.
You slowpoke. He finished. I'm gonna oust him right now. He finished the OVA like 2 hours before we started recording.
More like an hour. Yeah. Go ahead. Flame me, roast me. But I'm a fan of older anime, so I like to stitch things together. And I noticed that there was one thing that I could stitch together in this show, which is very rare for modern anime because they normally have like effects going on so the stitch doesn't work. But there was a pan up of Origami. I was like, oh, that'll be a really good stitch. And so I did all the screenshots I needed, and I stitched it together, and I sent it to Wob.
Wait, what was this?
Yeah, I sent you like a very the full body image of Origami that I sent you on a couple days ago.
Yeah, I'm headed to it right now. I'm seeing the freaking Ashita no Joe gif that I hate
It's
with
way
a passion.
Before that. I love that gif. It's before that. But I stitched that together, sent it to him, not knowing that this would be his favorite girl. This would be his best girl. I just did it because I thought it was a cool stitch. But like,
I'm gonna take your word for it. I legit can't find it in our DMs.
I'll send it to you after the show. But like, she's not my favorite girl, and I knew going in that she wasn't.
Oh, I found it.
Like, there you go. Yeah, you found it. Nice. Yeah, I stitched that together. I went into Photoshop and did fancy.
I did not know that. That makes that so much cooler.
Yeah, man, I'm glad you respect my effort. I put an effort into this show.
Put an effort.
Not that the viewers see.
Jeez, I need to put together. Oh no, I'll put it in the YouTube upload just for you, John. Oh crap.
Thank you. We're all good. Just censor that out.
Seaweed. I totally said seaweed.
Yeah, Seaweed, that's my name. But like I sent that to him not knowing that this was his favorite girl. But like also I kind of had suspicions after I sent it. I was like, oh, Origami might be his best
Okay,
girl.
the reason you would have thought Origami is exactly the wrong reason, because we had this discussion when we were talking about Uzaki-chan.
Yes. Yeah.
Because for
I
some
thought it
reason,
more on this. Yeah. Okay. Continue.
you seem to think that any character that shares aesthetic characteristics with Tejina Senpai is my style, which it isn't. It isn't, but
I want to
in this
defend myself
particular
here.
instance, yes.
I want to defend myself here because that's not why I thought that this was going to be your favorite girl.
Really? Oh
I,
dear,
it
I'm
was
scared.
personality.
Are you
It
gonna
was the
out me?
personality.
Are you gonna
I
out
don't
me?
know. I don't know. Am I? Am I? It was the
I don't know.
personality. The kind of shy but like also like forward character. That's why I thought it was gonna be like your favorite. I don't know why I thought that. It wasn't like really any like I didn't have any basis for that at all. But like yeah, that's what I thought. But anyways, I've stalled enough.
I had no clue who you were gonna stand. I went into this with no information.
Yeah.
I have a
So-
very hard time getting a read on you.
Yeah, there's probably reasons for that.
Oh my.
But Karumi is best girl because she's adorable and my favorite look for her is her like quote unquote like human form. Is that the best way to put that?
Yeah, I think that's a
Okay.
fair statement.
Like-
Basically,
like
not her spirit battle form.
Right, not her battle form. Yeah. I really like the hair covering the one eye. The like she has so much hair that's going like she just has so much hair. She's very goth. She covers one eye and like her bangs are not cut evenly. And like her personality, she's just like super like out there and like she's super open. But also like she's open but she's hiding something.
I mean, she straight
know?
up tries to pull up her skirt for the main character.
Right, exactly. Like she's open that way, but like she doesn't like open up her personality to the like her. She doesn't open up like. Oh God,
Well,
this is gonna sound so cheesy.
I mean, her personality
doesn't-
is trying to kill people.
Okay, but like okay, this is gonna sound really cheesy, but she doesn't open up her heart to the main character, right?
Keep in mind, I'm going to put a disclaimer here. Any opinions during this section, as far as context goes, we've not seen season 2 or 3. So if either
I
of
do
our
not
choices,
remember. I don't remember season 2, so yeah, or the movie. So like,
if
yeah, this
either
goes
of
to
our
me as
choices get developed on later, that is not a factor in our decision. We are strictly speaking about season 1.
well. This is only season 1. And I don't know. I found her super adorable, and like, even like, I don't know. Like, I'm not normally a fan of like the Soon type, which is what she is. She's not tsundere. She's like Soon.
What is the difference? I don't actually know that term.
So like the tsundere, like the dere part of tsundere, right, is like the lovey-dovey part, right? Like a dere is like a lovey-dovey like character. A tsundere is like a character who like really loves the one character, but is like willing to do like really like dark things, like kill people for them, right?
Okay.
And so Soon is like somebody who's like just does those dark things because they want to, which is what like Kurumi is. She's like, I would say she's like midway between a Soon and a tsundere.
Yeah, so she's an evil murderer.
Yeah, okay, but she's an adorable evil murderer.
I'm not sure that redeems it. Okay, I'll stop harassing you during your argument. I'm sorry.
I didn't say it redeems it. But I also just I really like her ability. Like
Yeah.
the time manipulation thing. It's it's the most interesting ability out of all of them, I think.
I can agree with you on that. The aesthetic of her ability is great. The way she points at like two numbers, like a
Yes.
clock would, and sucks up, and the way her battle, her like spirit form, I will grant you, is super gorgeous.
Like her clock eye is so cool.
It's so cool. Here's the thing, though, and I mean, I know you disagree with me. It sounds okay. It's okay. This is like completely opinion. I feel like her non-spirit form, the like uneven haircut or whatever that you're praising, I feel like it feels just kind of off. I didn't really get it. Something felt wrong with her human form. Whereas the spirit form, I can agree. I'm like, yes, this is a top tier design.
So one of the things, so we were talking, before the recording, whatever.
Yeah, back when we were getting our drink on. Whoa!
And you were talking about, like, you were like, how does she see through that haircut? Dog, have you ever seen an emo person before?
Yeah, how do they see?
Covering one eye.
I've covered one eye with my hair before, and I couldn't see.
Are you blind in the eye that wasn't covered?
No, but half a vision, you have no depth perception.
No, you do. You can see through hair. You can see through hair.
Not enough.
I could. I had that haircut for
I have a... Okay, I never legitimately did that haircut, but I do have a picture of me with like hair covering one eye hair cover. Yes, and it looks absolutely awful. I'm gonna send it to you after the recording so you can suffer too.
Oh, I'm excited. But like her haircut, like it's whatever. Also, she's an anime character. Who cares?
Well, I mean, yes, anime rules.
And also, when she fights, when she needs depth perception, the hair is not covering both her eyes.
Yeah, and so the first time we see her with her hair, she does twin tails. I'm pretty sure we talked about this in an earlier episode.
They're also uneven twin tails.
We talked about this in an earlier episode. Twin tails are like my weak spot. So when she goes into like her battle form, I'm just like, okay, yes, I can acknowledge top tier material if we ignore the fact that she kills people for funsies.
Yeah, I mean, I'll admit, like, I mean, I don't condone that activity.
I'm glad to know that you don't.
Thankfully, I'm glad we cleared that up. But like, she's adorable. She's adorable. I love Kurumi. She's been my favorite character since I first watched this show. Like, I've always had a soft spot for her. That's my opening statement.
Yeah, and I'm like 98% certain she gets development in later seasons, so I can respect that considering what happens.
She probably does.
We're running like really low on time, so I'm gonna do my statement.
All right,
okay?
do your origami bit. This is also the last section of the show.
This is the last section of the show, aside for like 5 minutes where we talk about our ratings.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I had a very tough running choice between Ochaka, wrong show.
What the fuck?
Wrong show entirely. Origami and Kokichi. Oh, jeez. I'm having problems today.
Kotori?
Origami and Kotori. Definitely not Kokichi.
I'm not even sure who that is.
Kokichi's the supreme leader of Danganronpa V3.
Oh, that's right. He's the best, dude. He's so cool. He's best waifu for sure.
Origami.
Okay,
and
Origami and
Kotori.
Yes.
It was a very close decision because they both have adorable designs. They're both so cute, and they both. I'm out of it. I'm 2 drinks down. Holy crap.
To me too, gamer. Let's go.
Gamer. Why were we like this in the middle of recording? Why does it have to hit when we're almost done? They're both adorable. They both had characteristics that I absolutely love. I've chosen to side with Origami here, although I know this is a dangerous choice because she is unhinged. We see this during the OVA. There is no escaping her.
She's very unhinged, very possessive.
But the actions that she has during the show, I found very endearing. Except for the battles, except for the whole murder mission on Ifrit, but you're talking about Kurumi, so I think we were fair to discount that on both sides.
Also, I think I'll... Look, okay, maybe this isn't helping my side of the argument, but like I'll defend Origami that she had past trauma because her parents were killed by Ifrit.
Yeah, at least Origami has a good reason to kill people.
Yeah, Kurumi just wants to kill people so she can live longer.
So but like, okay, I'm going to talk a little too much about myself right here. I am astoundingly oblivious in like every aspect. We hinted on this during the plot twists of Gakugarashi and Classroom of the Elite, how I just didn't catch on to any of them. It goes the same way into like person-to-person stuff. I just don't get it. And so when I see a character like Origami who's just like, now, we're friends, get over it. I'm just like, okay, I can't get this wrong. You know, I appreciate the directness.
Yeah. That's fair. Okay.
Oh, I'm so out of it right now.
I don't even know how to
She's
like. How do I even argue that? Like, because like it's such a personal like a statement. I can't
No,
even say you're
that's the
wrong.
thing. Is we can like jokingly say your opinion is trash because that's like what you do during waifu wars, but when it comes down
Exactly.
to it, waifu wars are matters of opinion. It's
Exactly.
going to be different for anybody. Now, of course, there's instances where you're objectively wrong, like in Gakugarashi. But
Okay, buddy. Okay.
no, I am going to be an origami stan, and I hope she becomes less mentally unstable going forward because she is definitely fun.
Okay. So, God,
I told when we were talking
basic.
about this before recording, I told you I had no legitimate defense for my choice.
Well, here's the issue, though. Like, I'm like about to say something that'll like help your argument, which doesn't help
You've
my
done that like
argument
3 times already. Why stop now?
because Karumi's the best. And I'm objectively right, and Karumi's great.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, very much so. But I don't know. Origami to me, I see. I'm in the opposite camp. I didn't like how direct she was. I don't know. I mean,
Oh
like,
no,
I
that's
don't get. I
my
don't get
jam.
human interaction either. But like, also like, she came
You're
off too strong.
you're a comm major. That's your job.
Don't remind me. I should have gone broadcast.
I'm a production major. I sit in a basement and edit videos.
That's what I do. Why was I calm?
Why were you calm?
Because my advisor was bad when I was changing my major.
Oof, get ousted. Anyway, we should talk about anime instead of our college lives.
College sucked.
Oh
Anyways,
man, I need
yeah.
to.
So like, I mean, I
I
don't
need
really.
to stabilize.
This is probably the worst waifu battle because neither of us can really like refute the other person.
Yeah, no, we
I'm
both.
like helping your side, and you're like, okay, yeah, yours is whatever, but like, I just prefer mine.
Both of us have like very valid points towards it and very valid points against the other. I don't think there's a correct choice here. I wasn't sure what the correct choice is either. And honestly, if Kurumi gets some good development in the later seasons, I'll probably be down to clown because like her design is excellent.
Yes, and like that's something like also like all of the like main girls, like the spirits in this show, like in season 1 specifically, like they're all really good.
Except
Like
Yoshino.
all
I thought all of them were equal runnings except Yoshino. She's like a step behind the others.
Well, here's the thing with Yoshino, right? Like, Yoshino like felt more like a little sister character, and that's how she was treated throughout the show, which is why I like her so much.
That's
Because she
an
feels like a little sister, not like a like. I wouldn't want her to like end up with Cheeto. Like, okay, if I'm being honest, the person I want to end up with Cheeto is Toka.
yeah, no. Shido and Toka belong together. That's just an objective fact.
They're the best. They're the best. Like pairing in the show out
Actually,
of like the main girls.
Shido and Kotori are a pretty excellent couple.
As a brother and sister,
Adopted.
you freak.
Look, as long as you say no chromo, it's okay.
They have the same family name.
If they say no chromo, it's allowed. You're talking to the man who loved Domestic Girlfriend.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I
Oh,
know.
geez, don't
Trust
take
me.
this to... Just because I'm Southern, don't apply this to me, please.
Dog, I am literally in Alabama right now.
Okay, I'm from the South and moved north. You're from the South and then went back to it.
Not by choice. But like all of the girls in this show are great.
Yeah, all of them
their
are
own
good.
ways. In their own ways. Like they're not like all like perfect like waifu material, but like they're all great. Like Kotori and Yoshino are great little sisters. But like Toka, Origami, and Kurumi are all great waifus.
Yeah, all of them are great. The reason I put Yoshino behind the others is because I'm just not a big fan of that archetype. That's why I could not jive with Yuki in Gakugarashi. I just thought she was annoying. Yoshino didn't get
I'm a fan
annoying.
of that archetype.
Yoshino didn't get annoying, but she was definitely towards that direction, and that's not for me. I don't
That's
like that
fair.
kind of character.
That's understandable. Yeah, Yoshino didn't have like a major part in the show. She had what, 2 episodes, I think. Was
She had
her arc?
two episodes to herself, and then she showed up as a side character in other confrontations, but she took a
Right, but
backseat.
even in those,
She
like,
took a
I'd say
super
she's a
backseat to Toka.
Yeah, exactly. Like Toka was always like the main focus, and like I haven't read because like the light novel. There's 22 light novels, and it's like the series is over. But like I don't know what happens. I'm gonna read them. Like I do want to read them, but like Toka seems like the right pick for Shido. It seems like that's what the show was going towards the whole time. Even with Origami like being super forward, like it never seemed like that was going to be like the final pairing.
I mean,
It
there's
seemed like
literally
Toka
an
and
OVA
Shido.
about Shido and Origami trying to break up.
Right, exactly. Like Shido doesn't really like care about, or like he cares
Well, no,
about
because-
Origami, but not in the same way.
Okay, so this is a sidestep. This should have been in like the minuscule section. Origami wound up together with him during like a trial period. They were like, "Why don't you try picking up girls?" And so they did 2 rapid fire. They talked to the teacher, who he proposed to like 10 seconds in, and she was down for it. And then he talked to, okay, I need to talk about this. You reminded me of my favorite note I took during this entire season. It was in episode 2. The note that I wrote. The note that I wrote.
You said it correctly.
I confused myself. Shut up. Was all I wrote down was watashi mo, because there's a sequence. There's a sequence where he's trying to hit Anochako. No, Origami.
Why do you keep saying that name?
Look, I haven't watched My Hero Academia more recently, but My Hero Academia I've seen a lot more of recently. Okay. He tries to hit Anochaka. No!
Origami.
For practice, and he just like starts rapid fire throwing out lines like, I already knew about you. Watashimo for non-Japanese speakers. I'm not a Japanese speaker, I can't say that. Watashimo for fellow weebs who don't know the phrase is me too. And he's like, I already knew about you. Me too. I watch you during class. Me too. I sniff your gym clothes. Me too.
Yeah, and this was also like her like watching him during class was set up before.
Yes.
Like it wasn't like something that just came out of the blue. Like she like knew Shido before.
And during this discussion, her response, her tone is so flat. Whereas Shido's getting more and more flustered with the weird lines they're throwing out. She's just like, yeah, I do that too.
Yeah, and she's totally cool with it. Yeah.
This is one of those cases that goes against me being an Origami stan. Like, I feel like that's a little out there. But it was so funny.
It was, yeah, no, that was a good scene. Good way to set up her character. Too.
Yeah, and again, that being right after the teacher's just like, I'm over 30, are you sure you want to have kids with me? And it's just like, what?
Yeah. And she's like planning out their whole life together, like the teacher is. And
I'm going to quit my job and move in with my parents.
Sorry, I gotta go.
Oh, man. And then they never speak to that character again. She doesn't even appear later in the show at all.
I don't think I saw her again.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she just disappears off of the show after
Which
that.
is great. It's perfect. I would rather them not show her than to like keep her around.
Actually, wait, no, she does turn up because she's there whenever Toka's trying to evacuate, whenever the spatial quake happens, when Yoshino appears.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but she's still not like a major character.
Yeah, no, she has like no legitimate lines.
Yeah, which is great. It's the best way to do it, that's the thing, like, okay, I think it's time for our final thoughts.
Yeah, we're overdue for our final thoughts. Let's take like 5 minutes each, 5 minutes max each, and give our outro, quote unquote.
Would you like to go first?
Yeah, sure. So, we have undone a trend here. The last couple of episodes, I've not been that big a fan of. Classroom Delete, I was like, it's alright. Gaku Garashi, I'm like, I can acknowledge it's good. I don't want to suffer that badly. This show, I was just like, okay, yeah, we found it. This is my jam. I don't want to say I'm a fan of like cute shows, because that'll bring up like Idol or like the cute girls do cute things genre, which aren't really my cup of tea. But
we'll get you there, buddy.
I'm a freaking oblivious dork, and so romance shows, and by extension harem shows, which are just romance shows on crack, are they're my jam. And so I watched this. I'm just having a good time. There were, including even the side episodes that like I geeked out about for like 20 minutes straight on the podcast already. I loved it. I had a blast with the show. I don't think it's something that's going to be like super lasting. It's not something that blew me away. It doesn't get 10 out of 10. It was still amazing, and it engrossed me enough to watch the full season in one sitting. That earns it a 9 out of 10 in my book. I will absolutely recommend it to others. I had a blast watching it. It gets a 9.
Okay. That's fair. That's a fair assessment.
The OVA, though, because it's rated separately on Mal, physically made me suffer. I think I gave it like a 7. It was still good. It was good, but in the cringe way.
It's very cringe, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I really liked this show. I'm glad that I revisited it because originally my score was a 6. That's why I think I'd lowered it from a 7 probably at some point. But that's what it was on Annie List when I started the show.
Is this out of 10?
Yes, out of 10. 6 out of 10. And
6 out of 100.
Oh my god. Could you imagine? No, but like I'd always like whenever I thought about Date Alive, you know, like I was like, oh yeah, I really enjoyed that show. So I forgot I gave it a 6 because that's, you know, just kind of like around the mid section, you know. And so like so rewatching it, there's so much good character animation. I love all the characters, and like this is so far the highest jump in a score for me.
Oh,
this went from a 6 to an 8.
2 whole points. Unheard of.
It really is. Like most of the ones like Binan Coco Chiki Boy We Love went from a 9 to a 10. And like, yeah, you could argue that a 10 is a ridiculously high score, but like also like it's only 1 point thing, you know, where this went 2 whole points up. And I really enjoyed my time with it. All the characters are great. I'm going to continue watching it. The same as Wob, as mentioned. I'm going to continue it. And like, I mean, I was talking to one of my friends and he was like, I wonder what like made you why you like this show so much, like what stood out to you. And I do think it's the characters. Like the characters are all like, they're not like, I don't want to say like extremely well developed because like I don't think that's the case, but they're developed enough, right? And so like they're fun to be around, and like it's an enjoyable ride the whole time, and it doesn't feel like, I mean, I watched 5 episodes the first day, and like it didn't feel like, it felt like 3 episodes maximum, right? And so like, and then when I watched the rest of it, I mean, it really didn't feel like 8 episodes, including the OVA.
Yeah, it felt kind of the same for me because, again, I usually have to split up my viewing sessions into at least 2 days.
Yeah.
But this one I just kind of sat down and I just went through it because it just kept going and it was good.
It was just fun. It
wasn't taxing to watch.
Exactly. It's not a game changer. I don't think. Like it's definitely a harem show, but like all the characters are fun. And as Wob mentioned, he rated the OVA separately. Now, I don't personally do that. I don't personally I don't rate OVAs that are like part of the show, if that makes sense. So like if an OVA is like an extra episode to a show, I just don't rate it. So it's the same score as like the main show, and so it's an 8 out of 10. I enjoyed the OVA. I thought it was a fun time with the characters, enough like a little extra time.
I would like to say real quick, I did enjoy the OVA. It just hurt.
Yeah, it's the good kind of hurt though, right?
Theoretically, it still brought the score down because holy crap, I was not strong enough for that first half.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I would definitely recommend this show. I was gonna say highly, but I don't know if I would highly. I don't know, but I'm also a fan of harem. If you like harem shows, and you haven't watched Date Alive, I don't know what you're doing. First,
if you like harem shows, you'll like every harem show, I feel.
Basically, yeah. So like, watch this show. There's also 22 light novels, 3 seasons, a movie, and also There's a visual novel. I think there might only be one, but it's on Steam. You can buy it on Steam. So like just buy the visual novel and play that. Like there's a lot of Data Life stuff, and from what I've heard, the novels. Oh God, I hate to be this person. The books are better than the movie. But like I've heard that the novels are actually like really good. There's no official translations, but there's fan translations you can find. We're not going to link those because it's not technically legal. But you can find them.
I wouldn't want to do that much effort anyway.
Yeah, I know you don't like to read, or you don't know how to read.
I don't know how to read. I'm Southern.
Yeah. And so yeah, I mean, yeah. 8 out of 10. Good show. I had fun.
It was definitely a good go, and it was definitely something I needed after the pain that was Gakugarashi.
Yeah, if you've watched like a really heavy show and you're not sure what to watch next, this is a good one. It's a good palate cleanser because it's fun, and it's really lighthearted. Like it'll get kind of dark sometimes, but like even when it's dark, it's still not like dark, you know.
Yeah, and it was definitely good. Like I said, I plan to watch the next 2 seasons in my own time after this. I feel like that kind of wraps it up. Would you like to talk about... So next episode of our podcast is going to be one of the episodes where we both pick a show that neither of us have seen. Would you like to talk about what it is? Because I've legitimately forgotten.
Yeah. So the next episode is going to be Girls und Panzer. Neither of us have seen it.
That's right.
It's kind of another, like, from what I understand, it's kind of like another cute girls show, which, if it's not clear, we like those here.
Those are always welcome in our household.
Yeah. And, so yeah, that's what we're going to be watching. Should be a fun time. I've heard good things about it. Yeah. I mean, like, what else do we need to say?
Oh, there's one other piece of news we should bring up. On our Anchor page, we have set up viewer support. We're still in the quote-unquote infancy of our development. But if you want to see this continue to get better, we have a way for you to help out.
Yeah, and that link will be in the YouTube description as well. So if you're watching it there.
Just as long as... I want to make sure y'all know this is 1,000% optional. I'm not going to expect a single person to do this.
No, we don't expect anything. This is, like, if you would like to support us, this is where you can do it.
This is something I've wanted to do for a long time. Or being in a creative endeavor is something I've wanted to do for ages.
Yeah, and and soon, season 0 should be over in, next couple weeks, I think.
We're probably going to experiment for a couple more episodes before we finalize what we're doing, and once we've got it finalized, we'll call it, quote-unquote, Season 1, and start off with an actual proper established format.
Yeah, and we're putting in a lot of work to this, and it's going to be a lot more effort, I guess, but like the production, I think I mentioned this earlier, but the production value is going to shoot way up.
I mean, I feel like that's a little bit overshooting the mark. We have a lot more things coming in to support at the very least our YouTube uploads, if not both YouTube and our audio uploads.
I think the audio is going to be helped as well.
I mean, the next item that I have coming in will increase the audio as well.
Because we'll be off that gamer headset.
Off the gaming headset.
Sadly, no more gamers, but we'll still be gamers at heart.
I mean, I'm still going to have a gaming headset in a different sequence, but I won't be using the audio from it.
Hey, there we go.
I wonder what item I have in the mail. No one will figure it out.
Hey, we don't have to censor anything, though, so it's less work on you this week.
Yeah. Please, I'm going to spend all day editing anyway.
Yeah, so that should be good. So yeah, if you want to support us there, and if you were listening on Anchor, you might have noticed that there was an ad in the middle.
Potentially. I don't know if we'll have that set up this week.
Yeah, we might not have that set up this week, but if not, that'll be in the future. So yeah, we want to make this a long-term thing because we're really having fun with it and putting in a lot of effort.
I'm having a blast with this. I am using my college degree, dang it, to make this program.
Me as well, honestly. Like communication, I'm speaking to a person. That's all that matters, right?
You're speaking theoretically to a lot of people.
Oh God.
For all we know, our voices could be projected to the entire world.
Oh,
What happens when we get
no.
viewers in Japan and they're just like, ugh, Americans?
Oh God, that'll be the day. That'll be the day. All right. Well, thank you for listening to this episode of A Shot of Weeb.
Thank you for being here in our early episodes. We really appreciate all of you who listen to this.
We really do. We really do. So yeah, stay tuned in next week for Girls in Panzer.
Girls with Panzer.
Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern.
5 p.m. Eastern.
It'll be a lot of fun. So yeah, we'll see you next week.
We look forward to catching you all again on the next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.